I'm going to share the screen on the practice as we've done it so far, and also adding the Shema practice. And I want to just talk through it as opposed to do it, and see if it's clear to everybody. It'll be both a reminder, and if anybody has any questions, then you're welcome to jump in. All right, here we go. Okay, can you all see the Keter at the top there? Okay, great. Okay, so we begin by perceptualizing the Keter. You don't have to do it now. We're just going to talk it through. Although sometimes talking it through can put you into it. So we begin by visualizing Keter at the crown of the head, and we have a chant, Achat Ruach Elohim Chaim. Then we perceptualize the second Keter, which is a few feet above the head. Okay, and that's the Hu Eloheinu Enod from the Aleinu prayer. And then this is the new part that we learned last week, is a line of light coming down from the very top Keter down into the heart. And we're also visualizing, if you can, if it's doable for you, this letter Aleph here can be visualized between the two Keters, above your head, but below the highest Keter. And we didn't, that's pretty much the only letter we visualized so far. The rest of them were just visualizing lines. Eventually, we can incorporate the visualization of the letters, but I don't want to get bogged down on that because it can be difficult to clearly visualize letters, especially when we're focusing on other things as well. Okay, so the line of Aleph is coming down to the heart. So that's the first part I wanted to get clear. Number two, we visualize Malchut either below your feet, or if you're sitting in a cross-legged position, then it would be at the bottom of your spine. That's Shtayim Ruach Meruach. Then we perceptualize the second Malchut a few feet below the body, and we chant Emet Malkeinu Efes Sulato. Now here's the new part we did last week, is the Bet line. Now the Bet line is going to be in front of us to our right. And I see Alan is here. Alan made those wonderful drawings, just to let folks know in case you didn't see. Yeah, people are applauding. Such a cool thing. I posted Alan's drawings on the lesson from last week. So you can get to all the lessons from the Ruach Neshama portal, and you'll see a bunch of files there that you can download. They're in PDF form. And that's a great resource. So the Bet line is a line of light that's going to be in front of us and to the right, and it will be connecting the two sphirot that we're not visualizing yet, but the ones that are there that it's connecting are Chesed and Netzach. Okay? And we chant the Ashrei line, Psalm 145, Bechol Yom Avechacha V'Alala Shemcha. We also chanted the Aleph line before. Okay, let's just stop there and make sure everything is clear. Any questions or anything? Put on. Okay, great. So let's go to the next one. So next is Chochmah, visualizing Chochmah at the right skull. And that's Shalosh, Mayim Meruach. Chochmah has the energy of invoking the vastness of the ocean and ocean-type colors. Then we perceptualize the second Chochmah behind us to the right. And we say the Kabbalistic formula, L'Shem Yichud Kudsha Brichu. Then we visualize the Gimel line, which will be behind us to the right, connecting Chochmah at shoulder level to Tiferet at hip level. That's the Gimel line. Okay, so we have Aleph above our head to the heart, Bet in front of us to the right, vertical, and Gimel behind us to the right, vertical. All right. And I'll just keep going. If anybody is confused by anything, just unmute yourself and jump in. Okay, the next part is we bring left hand to left skull, perceptualize Bina, which is the energy of fire with yellow and some green. And then we perceptualize the second Bina behind us to the left. And then we've got the Dalit vertical line coming down from Bina, connecting Bina to Yesod behind us to the left. Next, we bring palms together and we're invoking Da'at, the sphere of Da'at, which is not really a sphere. It's kind of the imaginary sphere connecting the upper to the lower. And we say the line from the Torah, Kakatuv b'Torato, V'yadata hayom, that you shall know today. It's a way of saying be present. Know today or be present. And the rest of the formula in fear and in love, or in awe and in love, to unify the Yud-He and the Vav-He, which really is all Kabbalistic speak for bringing together consciousness with form, just becoming one in ourselves. There's no letter involved in that one. Next, we lift the right hand and we see two sphirot. We see Chesed on our right shoulder, which is sky blue flecked with silver, and then Tiferet in the heart center, which is yellow sun flecked with violet light. We chant the first of the divine name permutations, Chamesh Yah-Ha-Wah. And then we see the second Chesed in front of us to the right, which is at the top of the Bet line that we had created in our visualization before. Okay. And we chant the Torah line, V'hashivota el avavecha, return to your heart. And then we visualize the Hey line as a diagonal line that's coming from Chesed in front of us to the right down to Malchut, the lowest Malchut below our feet. So it's the first diagonal line that we're imaging from the downward facing pyramid. Okay. Next, we lift the left hand and we see Gevura on our left shoulder, red flecked with gold light. Second divine name permutation, Shesh Yah-Wah-Ha. Then we perceptualize the second Gevura in front of us to our left shoulder level, and the Torah line, Ki Hashem Hu Ha-Elohim. Then we visualize Vav, the Vav line, which is the mirror image of the Hey line. So the Hey line is Chesed to Malchut. The Vav line is Gevura to Malchut. And next, we're going to Netzach. We visualize Netzach at our right hip, and we bring our right hand palm up to our right thigh. Light pink color. We chant the Sheva and the divine name permutation, Ha Yahweh. And now the order changes, because before we were first building the visualization of each sphera, the one in the body and the one outside the body, and then doing the letter. But now the order changes and we're going to do the letter second. And the reason why has to do with a piece of the practice that we're not going to do yet today, but it has to do with tracing the pieces of the pyramid and the way that works. And you'll see that soon. I think in the last session we'll bring that in. So this is the Zion line is going to connect Keter above our heads down to Netzach in front of us to the right at hip level. That's the Zion line. And we visualize that while we chant the verse, Zecher Rav. And then finally, we visualize the Netzach itself outside the body in front of us and to the right as a sphere of pink light. Then we come to the other side. We do the same thing on the other side. We put left hand on left knee, It can be there already, but we're bringing attention there. And see a dark pink sphere at the left hip, and that is Hod. And we chant Shmone Hawaya. Then we visualize the Chet line. Again, it's the reflection, the mirror image of the Zion line, coming from Keter above the head down to the place of Netzach in front of us and to the left. We chant the Chet verse, Chanun V'Rachum. And then finally, we visualize Netzach itself in front of us and to the left at hip level.
Isn't that Hod?
Oh, what did I say? Did I say Netzach? Yes, Hod. I meant Hod. It was a verbal typo. Great. And then we come to Yesod. We bring our hands together and visualize Yesod as an orange sphere in our lower belly reproductive organ area. And chant Tesha Wayaha. And then we visualize the Tet line. The Tet line also comes from Keter, just like Zion and Chet, and goes down to Yesod, which is behind us on the left at hip level. And then we're going to visualize two sphirot outside of our bodies, just like when we were doing Hesed, we were doing Hesed and Tiferet at the same time. Now we're visualizing Tiferet and Yesod behind us at the same time. So Tiferet is to our right behind us at hip level, and Yesod is to our left behind us at hip level. And we chant the verse. So we chant for Tiferet, we chant Al Kain Nekaveh Lecha Adonai Eloheinu Lirot Mehere Betiferet Uzecha. And then we gesture, we put our attention toward Yesod and say Letakein Olam. And then finally, we bring our attention back to the two malchuts that we've already visualized in the beginning, one below the feet and one several feet below the feet, and chant the final letter permutation, Eser Wahaya. And then we bring in the Yud line, which connects Chochmah behind us to the right, down to Malchut below. So it's the right behind diagonal line of the downward facing pyramid. Then we do something really different. We bring our hands together once again and visualize a third Malchut at the mouth, which is also where we visualized Dot before. So Dot and Malchut are kind of two ways of seeing the same thing, the one that's at the mouth. That's as far as we got last week. What we're going to add today is the Shema in 6 directions, which will be a little new for some. Now, in this PDF here, it just gives you a brief overview that the Yud is in the head, the He is the chest, and the Vav is the belly. It's really the spine, but it's coming down into the belly, and it's indicating those 3 parts of the body. And we do the same letter permutations that we did before, the Yah, Wah, and Yahawa, and all that stuff, except this time we are not saying them out loud. We are breathing in 3 sips of air and thinking those 3 letter permutations, and then projecting Shema in the 6 directions. So we breathe in Yah, Ha, Wah. Each of those letters is a part of the body that we're imagining light coming into. Yah, Ha, Wah. And we project Shema upwards with left hand facing up. Then we breathe in Yah, Wah, Ha, and chant Yisrael with the right hand facing down. We draw the first circle of light around the body. This is a vertical circle around the front line of the body, with our hands coming to rest, right hand forward and left hand back. Then we breathe in Ha, Ya, Wa, and chant Adonai or Yah Adonai, light to the front. And then we breathe in Ha Wa Yah and chant Eloheinu, light flowing to the back. We draw the second horizontal circle around our bodies. Left hand faces right, right faces left. We breathe in Wa Yaha and project Yah Adonai to the right. And then we breathe in Wa Haya and project Echad to the left. And while we're saying the Ah vowel of Echad, we trace the final circle, which is horizontal, but it's around the sides of the body. And we come to rest with both hands palms up. We do a little tiny bow in the four directions while intoning the letter tav at the end of the word echad. Oh, I'm sorry, the letter, not tav, the letter dalet at the end of the word echad, but it's pronounced almost like tav is sometimes written, which is the th in the word the. So it's a th sound, but that's vocalized. So it's a sound in the four directions. Then we bring in light back from the six directions with the Baruch Shem Kavod. So bringing in light from the left, Baruch, from the right, Shem, from behind us, Kavod, from before us, Malchuto, and from below, Leolam, and from above, Va'ed. Then we relax our hands for a moment, take a pause, and then we'll chant Ve'ahavta, Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, and then this is an elaboration on the basic practice. We bring right hand to the heart, chant Bechol Avavcha with all of your heart, and think about offering awareness freely from the heart, and chant Lecha, as we always do. And then we bring left hand to the belly, chant Uvechol Nafshecha, and do a gradual bringing of light into all the parts of our body, and chant Naaseh. And finally, right hand to the forehead, chanting Uvechol Meodecha, and bring our attention to the field of awareness itself, noticing that everything that is arising in our experience is happening within this vast field. And we chant V'nishma, and we are finished, and we come into silent meditation. Okay. So let's check in and see if anybody has any questions about any of that at this point. We went through it very quickly.
Right, Brian?
Yes.
Last week, I think it was, you said that that the pink and the dark pink, you weren't quite knowing why those colors were picked, and those are actually the easiest for me to remember, other than Poot, because they're so womb-like. Or if one has had a colonoscopy and stayed awake, it's just like the inside of the colon, and it's all pinks and roses and reds. So
wow.
It's very pelvic bowlish.
Oh, well, maybe that's it. That must be it. It didn't occur to me. My mind was going to like the Tucson sunsets, but yes, you're right. Those are the colors. Yes, Richard.
Yes, why do we say Yahweh instead of Yahava, since it's a Vav?
Yeah. So the pronunciation of Vav is a later European kind of thing. So the original pronunciation of that letter was more of a W type sound, which is why when you have the divine name, there's that practice among I don't know, among some biblical scholars and some Christian groups, that they actually will say that name, but they'll say it with a W sound. Traditionally in Judaism, it's forbidden to pronounce it as the name, but there's variation in terms of what is considered acceptable in Kabbalah. Avraham Abulafia, who was this who's still like his work is very foundational in a lot of Kabbalah that came later, even though his work was very different from Zohar and so on. He didn't pay much attention to those rules. He had lots of practices of chanting the divine name with all kinds of letter permutations. So I'm not necessarily against it, but I don't generally do it. But we're doing part of it, of course, with the Ya and the Ha and the Wa, but just not the whole thing. There's other things about original pronunciations of Hebrew. And also the Wa, by the way, is still pronounced that way by certain Middle Eastern dialects of Hebrew. It's not just ancient. And it's the same thing with the letter Dalet. When we say Echad, it says in the Talmud that you should prolong the D at the end of Echad, but you can't prolong the D if you pronounce it the way we normally pronounce it. It's just D, it ends. But if you do it as a TH, a vocalized TH, then you can elongate it. So thank you. All right, Susan.
Yes, I just wanted to point out, especially for people who have not taken the course on the 6 directions, you coach it with Yud, Hey, Vav, not Hawaya. So I've got this all memorized for Yud, Hey, Vav, but and I will rearrange my thinking. If this is this going to be your preferred way to do that?
So I'm sorry, in that course, do I say breathe in Yud, breathe in Hey, breathe?
Yeah.
Oh, I do. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So, you know, we talked about my directionality last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I'm all Yud Hey Bob set up, and now I got to be a Hawa Ya. So I'm still going to be at the end of the class, but I really do love you guys. But I just wanted to point that out for people who are going to take that class for the first time.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Tell us what we should use. Hawa Ya.
We're going to use the Ya Ha Wa.
Okay.
So I may have to redo the videos for that. I apologize. It can be confusing.
No problem.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
I guess I'll share that I've been working a lot with my arms when we do the extended Sefirot and behind us, or below behind us, or in front. And first of all, it feels great, but it also helps me with the visualization.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. And I was going to suggest at some point using arms and hands first to trace the lines that we're visualizing. So, and we're already doing that together when we do the Aleph in the beginning, but then when we do the Bet, I was not doing that explicitly, but you can bring your hand out and indicate the Bet line and the Gimel line and the Dalet line. And I'm doing all that. I just didn't, in my own practice, I do that too. I just didn't want to add that in all at once, but if you feel comfortable with that, that's great. And eventually, another thing that's nice to do is to actually trace the Hebrew letters in the air. You know, you can draw them. But that's, you know, I'm a big advocate of one step at a time. As a teacher in various things, that seems to be the way, is get one thing down first, and when it's comfortable, then next step. But all those things are wonderful and possible. Okay, well, let's jump into it then. Let's do it. All right. So get comfy but alert. I'm going to put a little bit more distance here so we can see the where the visualizations are. Okay. Let's just sing a little bit first. Hi, dai, hi, na, na, hi, nai, nai. Hi, nai, ma, nai, yo, ho. We just stick with that. Hi, dai, hi, na, na, hi. Hi, dai, ma, nai, yo. Hi, lai, hi, nai. Hi, ma, nai, yo. Hey, adai, nai. Hi, nai, yo. Hi, dai, nai, yo. And bringing awareness to the crown of your head, seeing a bright sphere of white light at the crown of your head, bringing to mind the oneness of reality, just the fact of there being one reality. Chanting Achat, Achat Ruach Elohim Chaim, and seeing the second Keter far above your head, a larger sphere of white light, transcending the self, beyond the self. Hu Eloheinu Ein Od. And seeing the Aleph above your head between the two Keter Sfirot, with the kavanah of opening to the full spectrum of experience, opening to joy and sorrow, to pain and bliss, knowing that whatever experience arises is temporary, and you are the open field within which it comes and goes. And bringing that light down from the top Keter into your heart, feeling the line of Aleph coming into your body. Aromimcha, Elohai HaMelech, Vavarecha Shimcha Leolam Vaed. And seeing that line of light descending down from the heart, manifesting as Malchut at your feet or at the base of your spine if you're cross-legged. Sphera of blue and earth colors, Shtaim, Ruach Me Ruach. Invoking that sense of reverence for the divinity that is present in all things, the life and beingness within all things. And bringing the visualization down to Malchut, a few feet below you, perhaps down in the earth, a larger sphera of Malchut, a few feet below your body. Emet. Emet Malakenu Efesulato. And bringing in the visualization of the Bet line of light in front of you to your right, connecting the shoulder level and the hip level of Chesed and Netzach. The energy of Bet is hospitality, welcoming the presence, not just knowing and seeing the presence of Malchut, but being the welcoming presence for that reality. Bechol Yom. Bechol Yom Avachecha Valala Shimcha Leolam Vaed. And bringing right hand to right skull, seeing Chokhmah in your right brain, sphera of dark blues and grays. the field of awareness itself, vast and spacious, within which thought arises. Shalosh. Shalosh Mayim Meruah. And seeing the second Chokhmah behind you to your right at shoulder level. Chanting L'Shem Yichud Kudsha Brichu. And visualizing the Gimel line coming down from Chokhmah down to where Tiferet will be, seeing that vertical line of Gimel. Gimel, bringing to mind that our presence in this moment and the reality of this moment itself is full and complete as it is. Gadol. Gadol Adonai U'Mehulam Me'od V'li Gadulato Ein Cheker. And bringing left hand to left skull, seeing Bina as a fiery sphere of yellow and green, the mobility and directivity of thought that we are using right now to do this practice. Arba Eshme Ma'im. And seeing the second Bina behind you to the left at shoulder level. Ushechinte. And bringing in the Dalit line coming down from Bina down to where Yesod will be. Dalit is recognizing that all that we have, all that we are, it all comes to us as an act of grace. Dor ledor. Dor ledor yeshabach ma'asecha u'gevorotecha yagidu. Bringing palms together in front of your mouth with the intention of making a unity, of bringing together consciousness with form. Kakatuv. Kakatuv betorato v'yadata hayom b'dechilu echimu liyached shem yod-he bevav-he b'yichud shalim b'shem kol Yisrael. And lifting right hand, invoking Chesed and Tiferet. Chesed as blue and silver at your right shoulder, Tiferet as sun yellow flecked with violet in your heart. Chamesh. Chamesh Yahweh. And seeing the second Chesed in front of you to the right at shoulder level. And as you visualize that, bringing your right hand to your heart as we chant V'hashivota. V'hashivota el levavecha. And now we visualize the line of Hay coming from the outer Chesed, connecting down to Malchut below us. And then also visualizing Hay in your chest as your shoulders and arms framing your chest with the kavanah of offering awareness from the heart, offering presence. Hadar. Hadar kevod hodecha v'divrei niflotecha asicha. And lifting the left hand as well, seeing Gevurah, Sphera of red and gold at your left shoulder. Sheish. Sheish Yahweh. And seeing the second Gevurah in front of you to the left at shoulder level. This is the kavanah of restraint, of being able to focus our awareness right now in our bodies. And we bring left hand to the belly. Ki Hashem. Ki Hashem Hu Ha Elohim. And seeing the Vav line connecting the Gevura in front of you to your left shoulder level, all the way down to Malchut below you. And now bringing in the visualization of Vav in the body as well. Vav in the spine, coming down into the belly, right hand on your heart, left hand on your belly. The Vav that is watchful in the body to accept this moment and transcend its energies, yet be intimate with it. Ve'ezuz. Ve'ezuz norotecha yomeru ugedulatecha saparena. And bringing right hand to your right thigh, palm up, seeing Netzach, light pink at your right hip, the energy of commitment, endurance, persistence, Sheva. Sheva Hayawa. And visualizing the Zion line from Keter above you to Netzach in front of you and to the right. Zion is cutting away distractions, cutting away attachments. Zecher. Zecher Rav Tuvecha Yabiu V'tzid Chatecha Yeraneinu. And finally bringing in the visualization of the outer Netzach in front of you to the right at hip level. Bashamayim. Bashamayim Mima'al. And bringing left hand to your left thigh, seeing Hod as a sphere of dark pink at the left hip, the sphere of humility and gratitude, Shimone. Shimone Hawaya. And visualizing the Chet line from Keter above to the Netzach in front of you and to the left at hip level. Chanun. Chanun v'rachum Adonai erech apayim u'gedach haseh. The kavanah of hovering presence, neither trying to change nor running away. And finally seeing the outer Hod in front of you, to the left at hip level, ve'al haaretz. Ve'al haaretz mitachat ein and bringing hands together in your lap, seeing Yesod as a sphere of orange light in your lower belly and reproductive organs, Teisha. Teisha wa ya. The sphere of joy, of positivity, of connectivity, and of the foundation of community. Seeing the Tet diagonal line from Keter above, connecting down diagonally to where Yesod will be to your left and behind you at hip level. Seeing that Tet line, the line of hidden goodness, the goodness that is potential within all things, Tov. Tov Adonai lakol v'rachamav kol ma'asav. And seeing the second Tiferet behind you at hip level, to the right. And we chant Al Kain. Al Kain nekaveh lecha Adonai Eloheinu lirod mehera betiferet uzecha And visualizing Yesod behind you at hip level to your left, orange sphera, Litakein. Litakein Olam. And bringing awareness once again down to the two Malchuts below you, chanting Eser. Eser Wa Ya. And bringing in the visualization of the Yud line, connecting Chokhmah, which is behind you to the right at shoulder level, down to the Malchut below your body. So the right behind diagonal of the downward facing pyramid. And chanting Yoducha. Yoducha Adonai kol ma'asecha v'chasidecha yevarechucha. And finally bringing palms together, seeing the Malchut once again, the third Malchut at the mouth, B'malchut. B'malachut Shaddai. And relaxing hands and taking a moment to feel and see best you can the sphirot within the body and around the body. Within the body and around the body. And if you have trouble visualizing, just knowing that it's there. Just breathing naturally and bringing your mind to rest on the points of light, the sphere of light. And we begin the Shema by breathing in, just a reminder, the Ya is the head, Ha is the chest, and Wa is the belly. Each time we breathe in 3 sips of air into the 3 parts of the body in the different orders of the permutations. So breathing in Ya, Ha, Wa, projecting Shema up beyond the body into the heavens. Shema. Breathing in Ya, Wa, Ha, projecting Israel down. Yisrael. And drawing the first vertical circle around the center line of the body, left hand moves forward and down, right hand moves back and up, following it all the way around. Right hand faces forward, left hand faces back, breathing in Ha, Ya, Wa, projecting Ya Adonai to the front. Ya Adonai. And breathing in Ha, Wa, Ya, Eloheinu to the back. Eloheinu. And drawing the second circle, right goes right, left goes left, following it all the way around. Horizontal circle, left is facing right, right is facing left. Breathing in Wa, Ya, Ha, projecting Yadonai to the right. Yadonai. And breathing in Wa, Ha, Ya, projecting Echad to the left and final circle. Echad. seeing the 6 beams of light from the heart in all 6 directions, and bringing in light from the left hand with Baruch, Baruch, bringing in light from the right with Shem, Shem, bringing in light from behind with Kavod, Kavod, from front with Malchuto, Malachuto, from below Leolam, Leolam, and above Va'ed, Va'ed. Relaxing hands, palms open, chanting Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, bringing right hand to the heart, B'chol levavecha, offering attention to the fullness of this moment with Lecha, deep breath in, Lecha, bringing left hand to the belly, Uvechol. Uvechol nafshecha, feeling awareness down into your organs, shining down through your legs to your feet and toes, filling the whole lower part of your body with light, shining upwards into your chest and upper back, shoulders and neck, flowing down through your arms and hands and fingers, connecting back with your heart and belly. Feeling awareness shining into your face, facial muscles, brain, and skull, bringing a little smile to your lips, and feeling the flow of your breathing, anchoring awareness with Nase. Nase. And bringing right hand to forehead, Uvechol. Uvecho meodecha, sensing thus the field of awareness itself within which all experience comes and goes, and you are this vastness, you are this miracle, this field of aliveness. Venishma, breathing in, Venishma, kissing fingers, relaxing hands, and we can chant together. Atahu, 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 Atyahi, 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 Atahu, 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 Atyahi, 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 Atahu, Atahu. And we'll come into silence for about 7 or 8 minutes, just continuing to chant internally, being the space of awareness within which the chant is vibrating, and as other thoughts arise, just noticing and accepting, but letting go of those thoughts and coming back to the chant. Hi. Hi, ya, nai, 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 nai. Hi, ya, da, da, hi, yo, yo. Hi, ya, ya, da, na, nai, nai, nai. Hi, nai, 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 yo, yo. And closing the meditation, bringing right hand to your heart. Once again, offering awareness with Lecha. Deep breath in. Lecha. And bringing left hand to your belly, feeling awareness down into your organs, spreading out from there to fill the entire vessel of the body with light. Naase. Nase. Bring right hand to your forehead. Vast field of awareness beyond the body, within which all experience comes and goes, and you are this vastness on the deepest level. Venishma. Deep breath in. Venishma. Kissing fingers, relaxing your hands. May the portals of the Sphirot and the Otiot become ever more available to us and ever more revealed in our lives, both on inner and outer levels. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yako Yisrael, v'yako Yoshvei Tevel v'yamru. Amen.